Giga Berlin is 5 months from production. Welcome to My Tesla Weekend. Yes, Giga Berlin is about 5 months from first production. Giga Shanghai went from closing off their walls to first production in 4 months. And even though Berlin still has quite a few open walls and even some incomplete roof segments, they're still going to make it. If they close off in the next 4 weeks, which appears increasingly likely, they'll enter production before the end of June. And while you can argue that land use rights and permits are easier to acquire in Shanghai, China than they are in Berlin, Germany, the bottom line remains that interior work is a separate matter, and you can never bet against German engineering and manufacturing. Shanghai was sufficiently secure with their tight-lipped workers to make sure that we saw very little of what was going on inside, and Berlin is no different, save for the bravery of one intrepid drone pilot on YouTube called Teslair. This is the craziest drone pilot in the Tesla world. No, not Mars, that's the next Tesla world. This one's Earth, and Teslair has gotten some insane shots and graciously permitted us to show some snippets. And oh my, if you thought Giga Berlin was pretty on the outside, just wait until you see what she looks like within. Yeah. He's provided us an up-close look at some of the equipment ready for installation over by the train yard, and while I can only make sense of them as an assortment of heat exchangers, the bottom line is that all of these are finished construction elements critical to the site's completion. This pilot gets the inside look by literally flying his drone inside the factory, and he does so at tremendous risk. If the connection is lost within all that steel and concrete, it may be a bit unlikely the site workers would be willing or even able to find and return it. But man, what a picture he is able to paint for us. It started a few weeks back with some flights so daring, I'm not sure how he got into the air on account of those massive brass drone balls. He doesn't just look at the site, he doesn't just get close and look in the windows like some others, he flies within the actual structure. The key to doing this is to fly on Sundays when there are fewer workers, and fly early in the morning when the scant handful have yet to arrive, and boy does he do it, and without hesitation. If Elon were to revoke drone privileges, this mad lad would be the reason, but for now, we're just incredibly grateful for the front row view, even if it's actually more like the orchestra pit or a little bit up onto the stage itself. You can see that while exterior work, including walls, roofs, and even some foundation work continues, there is a substantial amount of work being done inside. There are heating and cooling ducts, plumbing, signs of electrical work, and a massive number of pallets already inside the main building awaiting installation. Another reason for my confidence in the completion schedule is that the office container park just keeps growing in size. In this shot, there are 423 temporary office containers just on site, with another 144 across the street. Some of these shots early in the video were recorded a few weeks ago, but you can get a better idea of the timeline later on as the amount of interior work is visibly further along, more pallets have been put in place inside the building, and the weather becomes snowier. But I assure you, the longer you watch this video, the cooler it gets. And not just because of the snow. I should point out that if you've never had a chance to visit Germany, you should add it to your list. Some of the inner-city train routes have slower, less expensive options that take older, winding paths which run along the rivers, but they offer vistas of ancient castles along the way. So whether you spend a little or a lot, you can always expect an amazing journey, and the people there are as wonderful as you'll meet anywhere. A quick Google review of how local customs work will avoid a lot of headaches. The waitress isn't ignoring you, but giving you your time and space until you can make it known to her that you're actually ready to order. I've met an awful lot of Germans in my life, and the only ones I would consider anything short of pleasant were businessmen in Shanghai, and they were, well, they weren't what you might call the best ambassadors, but then again, the Hard Rock Cafe isn't exactly an embassy. Please remember to check out Teslair on YouTube, link in the corner and the description, and subscribe to his channel to see the madness unfolds as soon as he uploads. Forgive my oversized logo, it's just that there's a particular Tesla YouTuber who really torques us off by stealing footage without permission, and while this isn't my original footage, I did go the extra mile to make sure I had permission before using it, and he don't do that. And he's got more subscribers than me, which also torques me off. And if this runs a bit long, which it will, it's only because there's just that much awesomeness to show. The original runtime for these 4 videos is just under 2 hours, so I've done my best to cut to the parts that show only the madness and the novelty, and accelerate the pace a bit on the rest. If you're still not feeling it, consider scrubbing forward a bit in the timeline. And if you don't care for my voice, well, my apologies. It's the only one I have, and you're always welcome to turn the volume down or mute me, I guess. Check out my Patreon if you want to support the channel, where you'll get access to behind-the-scenes info, a closer look at my math on those videos, exclusive video content that's not publicly available on the channel, and early access to select videos, including one coming up hopefully next week. It's $1 a month, and even if you can't afford that, which I understand, there's still plenty of stuff over there that's open to the public. I'm just super glad you guys are here and joining me on my Tesla weekend, even though it's increasingly encroaching on midweek. The original idea was that I'd only do 2 videos a week, but things got a little out of hand pretty quickly. So here we are, and thank you for, being here. If you want to see more interesting insight and exclusives that you can't find anywhere else, be sure to subscribe, because that's the only way YouTube knows to show more videos like this to people like you who are actually interested in them. Let me know what I missed or misunderstood. Stay tuned, stay juicy, and I can't wait to hear from you clever robots on the flippity flop.